Alright, this is Tampa from Zedsl. I'm going to go ahead and start up. I just got past the starting quest, found a city. I'm no expert, but I'll kind of go over my starting strategy. I've been playing for about a year now. I started with the original 14, well, not the original, but I started with 14, and I thought it was a great game, had a lot of potential. I was disappointed that it wasn't going anywhere, and then found out they have other versions. So I moved over to the 16. So there's a lot of updates with that. Nighttime just started. Alright, let's see who's on my server. Alright, time to abuse my mod powers, because I'm not operating at night. Oops. Accidentally bumped it back to day one. Okay. So, I'm presently hiding on this water tower. Let's see if I can get off it without breaking my neck. My server is set so zombies only run at night. So, at night they don't run unless you really disturb them. Okay. So, typically what I do no, I don't want to run anywhere near that army base. Some mines all over the ground. Everything here, if you've never played the game before, everything is usable as a resource. And then they've got different point of interest nodes. Like you've got a cooler that spawns things that are appropriate to that. Absolutely everything can be scrapped and used as a resource for something else. When you press E to inspect, R grabs everything in the cooler. So E looks at something, R will grab it, or you can choose to, select to wear it. Different things will affect your character. They have different ratings and so on that kind of give you protection. The original quest starts you out with building, you know, clothing out of grass and so on. Club. Bird's nest. My strategy, I focus more on archery than I do on weapons, simply because it's a pain in the padded butt to operate with guns. My strategy typically revolves around getting through the initial quest as quickly as possible without killing a lot of daylight. Finding a tree, punching the tree until you get enough wood to make an axe. You want to pick up you chop the plants to get your plant fibers. You find a rock to punch to get your rocks, so you need 1 or 2 wood, a couple of plant fibers, and then 5 stones, and then you can create your axe. Once you create your axe, it makes it much easier to harvest. The axe is usable for just about everything. Car battery. Don't really have a use for that right now. The axe can be used to break down absolutely everything, though there are some tools like your shovel that you can make. There are tools you can make like your shovel that take up dirt and sand easier. You get more resources out of using them. Pickaxes work the same for metal or stone. I've got a knife a shiv that I made out of bones to harvest when I kill an animal like a wolf or a deer or a rabbit or a bird. If I use my axe to break them down, I'll get some stuff, but if I use a knife to break them down, it's more effective. I get more stuff out of it. There's different biome types. There's a desert, there's a wasteland. I'm more of a Serengeti grasslands. I don't want to keep running in that direction. I'll run into a zombie. There are cactuses in this area that can hurt me, just like that. They also hurt the zombies. Each of these special plants have their own properties. The goldenrod, if you have a pot and fire and some water, you can make a special tea out of it. So if you get dysentery and you're sick, it will cure that. There's usually 2 or 3 levels of negative debuffs. So if you get dysentery, they have dysentery 1, dysentery 2. It really just depends on how long you've let the illness progress. Usually stage 3 or 4 you die. So my strategy usually involves getting through the early stuff, finding a high point, and once you get up to a high point, looking around till you can spot like a city. There's cities that are small towns that have, when they have like a general store or a grocery store, it's a small shop. When you get in there, they have a few nodes that will grant you stuff. The big cities, the skyscrapers, typically have more resources. At the same time, they have harder zombies. So until you are able to pick up a mining helmet or a night vision goggles, I'm very careful about what I do at night. If I have a base, I'll usually spend that time crafting. If not, then I'll find a time and I'll hunch down when you're hunched. you'll see the little eye appear. The eye will tell you when you've been spotted, when you're undetected. When you're spotted, it opens up. That means you're being hunted. You need to move. I wouldn't stay crouched because you move slowly crouched. But I'll spend the nighttime gathering resources while I'm hunched over and hiding. The rules of being detected or undetected usually revolve around what kind of cover you have. If you're in shadow or you put a structure between you and the zombie chasing you, then you have much less problems. You can actually go undetected and stay undetected. I'm crossing into a snow biome. There are certain zombies that are more apt to appear in certain settings. Some biomes are easier to find things like bird nests in. On a random gen, the biomes don't necessarily make sense. For example, I've got a forest, a little bit of snow, and then I've got another forest with a city. I've seen 3 different biomes in the exact same spot. There's always these... Oh, apparently a zombie died here. I highly recommend early on that you make use of the zombie remains. You want to use your knife if you have one, and you want to carve up the remains. Out of that, I gained some animal fat, some rotten meat, and some bones. The bones, you can use the recipe, create a bone shiv. If you've got a chemistry set or a fire, you can create glue. They tell you the available recipes. You can eat this. I don't recommend it. You can also turn to fertilizer if you've got the cement mixer. But that animal fat is useful for making torches and candles. That's why I highly recommend that any zombies, any animals you kill, you always carve them up. If you have a bone shiv, use the bone shiv. If you don't have a bone shiv, use the axe until you get access to a bone. Once you have access to a bone, then create a bone shiv. But I move peak to peak until I'm able to locate a city. If I find a city that's a tiny city that doesn't have a lot of resources, I will usually not mess with it. I'll pass by. There's a trader there. What I look for is a nice spot where there's 2 or 3. You gotta be careful about running down hills. You'll break a leg. What I typically look for is 2 or 3 cities that are in very close proximity to each other. They have a water source nearby. That's generally what I look for, and I move peak to peak until I encounter them. If you find a road, if you follow roads, they typically will lead you to cities. Little offshoot paths typically lead to single houses. And there's a big difference with 16 that there wasn't in 14. You now have sleeper zombies. You have zombies that will camp out in the house. And there we go. Bloody cactus. Random people sending me friend invites. The door's locked, so I'm gonna have to break it down. Again, you want to be hunched when the best way to clear out a house. Hunch down, bust down that door. Some zombies are very perceptive. If they stand up, start moving, I immediately move out of the way, usually run around the house. Alright, I'm still undetected. Let me find my bow. And then when I creep in, notched. When you creep in, you're stealthy. When you step on garbage like this, it makes a noise. It's like a sound trap. Let's see who's in here. There's a backpack. Looks like somebody died in here. But right there. So I want to take careful aim because headshots are usually much more valuable. Okay, wasn't enough to damage her. She still doesn't see me, so she's going to wander around. Probably attack a wall. As long as I stay... Oop, she's down. When she's down, you can usually get... Dang it, she moved. A good strategy is often to put your club in your inventory slot next to your bow. And when you can down them, run over and clubbing them. Yep, she's coming my way. Yes, she is. Still undetected. And you can strafe with your D and A button. Yep, she saw me. Crap. Hazmat guy. Alright. So early on when your archery's low, if you can do headshots, I recommend it. It's weird. Alright. Ah, crap, I stood there too long. Now I'm stunned. Is he dead? Yes, he is. Make sure she ain't sneaking up on me. See, I hear her, but she's still inside. Alright, so I can search him. He's got a pipe on him. I'm gonna find my bone shiv. Alright. Carve up his remains. I got a bone. Some dead flesh. You don't always get fat out of it. Let me go take out that chubby mama in there. Hey baby, we're gonna go on a date. Oh, missed her. She's all wiggly. Got her. Nope, nope. She ain't dead yet. But I'm still undetected for a little bit. Where'd she go? She went upstairs. Oh, she fell down. And I got her. Woo! Now I'm going to stay crouched because there's probably 2 or 3 other ones in here. Yeah, somebody else died in here. I'm not going to be mean and steal their stuff. So search the hungry zombie. And she's got gunpowder, which I don't usually use, and cotton, which I don't usually use. So I'm going to switch over to my knife. Where'd she go? She glitched. Alright. Useful nodes. Bookshelves. Sometimes they have crappy paper in them. It has its purposes, but I never use it, so. Trash cans are useful because everything can be scrapped into something else. Let me eat some cat food because I'm hungry. Scrap the can and I get more iron out of it. Eat my can of chili. You gotta keep an eye on your thirst and your hunger. Ah, crap. I was hoping for a cooking pot. Cupboards, you could find food in. You can find wrenches in. Wrenches are a great tool for breaking down things like cars. So I will accept this guy's friend request, although I don't necessarily recommend doing that with strangers because they could do this little deal right here where they track you. Now I can look on here and see where he is at. Alright, he's in that direction far away. Alright. Sinks are great for wrenches. Wrenches are great for cooking pots. Are fantastic to have. Alright, my inventory's kind of full, so I can start eliminating things I don't necessarily use. Wrenches you can break down and get all sorts of electrical and mechanical components, as far as getting more metal than you would have just chopping things with your axe. Okay. If I hold shift, I can run while I'm crouched, but it makes noise. Ugh, another fat mama. If you get... I'm trying to get over here quickly and... Domestic battery! Haha. Too slow. Wonk. Gotcha. Ah, I got too close. She stunned me. Well, I downed her before she killed me. But I pissed somebody else off. I just saw that shadow coming up behind me. Yeah, some other guys upstairs that heard me crack him one in the face. And then get out of here before I die. Whee! So, do's and don'ts. Headshots are better if you can do it. And then club those mofos. Clonk, clonk, but don't get greedy. If you hang out too long, they can crack you one themselves. And melee is always chancier than ranged attacks, obviously. Right now, the only zombie who could do a ranged attack is the cops. They do this vomiting move. You want to be clear of that. Let me see if I can sneak in here. Because if you... Oop, guess not. Down I go. Well, it detected me when I walked face first into its groin. I came around the corner, I was like, oh, hello. Crack. Alright. So, that's how to approach a house. Right now I'm just basically, because I put a bedroll down, I'm able to start near my bedroll. If you don't, it randomly generates you usually nearby, but I've had it throw me across the map before. Okay, I'm not too far away. So, this is kind of a scrub desert. Ooh, look, there's a town over there. I can see because the ground hasn't rendered properly. You always have to be careful running down hills because you can break your legs. And then you need a splint. It's not pleasant. And I just ran into a cactus. This is where you get you lose everything. This is where you get your tires for your mini bikes. They are laying around. You basically beat them with your axe. Bird nest. Let's see if I can sneak in here. Grab my stuff and get out without dying. Usually the zombie who killed you despawns. But with the sleepers, you get new sleepers spawn all the time. Alright, so I need to put my clothes on to make room in my inventory. I need to get my video full screen so I can see it. Okay, here we go. I put my axe, my bow, my club. Okay. Then I'm gonna finish searching my backpack, grab the rest of my stuff. And be greedy, sneak in here and grab the stuff off that one zombie I didn't loot before I got attacked again. There's some nodes in here, like cooler. And I can hear them in there. I can chop furniture and get good stuff from it. So I got cloth and wood. I can search the trash. I could pick up the chair and take it with me, or chop it up. That was somebody else's bag, right? Yeah. They damaged the stairs. So I'm gonna sneak up here. There's a nightstand. Nightstands typically have clothing in them, though, and I scrap everything. Schematic I read, so now I know how to make a rocket launcher or repair one. Oop. There's a chest or a crate. You usually have to break these down before you can access them. Alright, this one turned into a chair. So I'm going to break the chair down because I can get wood and leather from it. Unfortunately, it's just a wooden chair. Is there a sleeper in here? No sleeper. So we've got a... I'll put this back so you can see me. Alright. So, we've got our purse. Blood bag you can consume It gives you 5 healthness, 5 fullness, 5 hydration. You can also use it for... it's one of the components to make a large med kit. Ah, it's locked. I could sit here and chop it down from 2500 to see what's in it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to break this bed down for cloth and metal. So, I'm going to step back out in the hall here. There's the door, but they decided to break through the wall. So there's no more zombies in this house. You could fix this puppy up. You would want to put down a bedroll. That will protect an 8x8 spot. See, we got another sleeper that spawned. You would go to the window. Instead of left-clicking and breaking the window, you could right-click the window and cover it up. You can fortify it using your supplies. But you're always going to have sleepers appearing in here until you have a bedroll. And the bedroll doesn't protect an entire huge house. It will only cover so much space. Yeah, I didn't search the top cupboards. Trying to be careful not to wake up that guy in the corner. That, and I think once I step into this light, I can become visible to him if I'm out of the shadow. Alright. The minute I stand up, he's going to see me. But he's a skater zombie, I believe. Alright. I'm gonna try to shoot him in the head. Oop, didn't kill him. Yeah, you stand over there and beat on the wall. I try to hit you in the head. Oh, am I out? Alright, I'll switch over to the couple steel arrows I found on that one guy. And shoot you in the head. Yeah, he is. Now, typically I don't build in prefabs. Alright, when you get close to him, if it doesn't give you the option to search, he's still alive. That jerk face is smacking me around while he's on the ground. Got him. Alright, so he's down. Nobody's sneaking up on me? Alright. Let's see what he's got. Shoes? Man, it's better than what I've got on. Alright, now get out of this house. Yeah, usually I don't build in prefabs simply because I don't like the idea of sleepers spawning in my base. So, I've got a city over there, a large city behind me. I'm going to run carefully. Keep an eye on the time, because you don't want to be... Yeah, looks like I got 2 towns there. See how that car is burned out entirely? That means it's not going to carry any items in it. So I've got it. They're both... So... One of my solutions, I look at my elevation, the elevation -25. 57 is where bedrock is. So I keep an eye on my surroundings. I want to find a biome that is the ground is mostly stone. There's some corn. I want to find a biome that the ground is mostly, it's not dirt, it's stone. This one's going to be mostly dirt. Past a bird nest. Alright. Use my shovel to scoop this dirt. Now, for me to be dropping dirt fragments, that means my inventory is pretty full. Let's drop this bone. Let's eat this yucca. Yucca is if you find an actual desert where it's all over the place, it's fantastic. Snowberries I don't eat. You can get snowberry poisoning. But I would recommend digging down until you find rock. If you're in a actual desert, the sand continues all the way down to bedrock level. So if you build a base there, zombies will find you. They will chew through that ground faster than Oprah through her baked ham, and they will find you. So, when you're checking out of town, I look for a couple different things. General houses I'm not that thrilled with. They have random stuff in it and a lot of zombies usually. Depending on the biome, you get certain things out of it. You'll see more of these sheds. You'll see these. Somebody's growling and coming up on me. I'm undetected, so they're probably awake inside of a building. These burning barrels are fantastic pickup. They're a great light source. You have to be careful with burning barrels and you have to be careful with burning barrels and torches. They attract zombies. These are decent bases if you like prefabs. Because they have such a high armor to them. There goes my axe. Ooh, that sound. It means there's a spider zombie in there. Got some potatoes out here we could pick. Take advantage of these when you find them. I don't really want to fight a spider zombie with my current weapons. So I'm going to scoot on out of here, move on down the road. So when you got a whole burned out house, there's definitely going to be sleepers in it. Sometimes you'll find the little corners. Whenever you see this fixture here, you see this squared fence made of different colored plates in front of a little shack. Inside, I need a new axe. Basically, my axe broke down. So I'm going to equip this one. It's one of the three bunkers that you'll encounter. Alright, you see those 4 metal plates? Under that, you're going to encounter a stairway that leads out that way. There's a concrete bunker underground. Under this square. Right around here. That under there is a ventilation system that leads down to it. So that's one of the bunkers. The other one is a well sitting behind a house. And then you've got the standard army bunkers. So anyway, back before we had the sleeper zombies, I used to use them for bases. Now it's too problematic. This water tower here is useful for a base if you want a high up base. It's almost always has a small water source underneath it. There's usually a backpack right in here in the corner. So I usually will build a ladder that leads up the side. And I'll usually leave off their footsteps. Nobody sneaking up on me. Oh, nope. Alright. I usually have a where I'll put 2 get out of the way, booger. So I usually drop a frame or 2. And then I'll have ladders all the way up to the top. That is a whole square. There's no water in it. So I usually will carve into the top, and you've got a 3x3 space in there that you can carve out. And you can make a base up there. The downside you have to be aware of is any high up bases, all the zombies have to do to tear them down is to destroy these panels. So if they destroy all 4 of these, if they destroy all 4 of the large supports and then the smaller supports, the whole thing will come crashing down with you in it and all of your goods. So just something to keep track of. I'm live streaming, you stink butt. Say hi to the people. So, other things that I look for with points of interest. So, that's a good point if you want to build a, high up fort. I look for stores. Important stores. The bank, maybe. If you like to spend a lot of time chopping down locked safes. Laundromat, you're going to find a lot of clothes in. It's not that fantastic. Hardware stores. These are what they look like in a small town. In a town with some more skyscrapers in it, you're going to find a larger facility with much more nodes. This one's probably going to have 2 or 3. Looks like somebody's already robbed this one. Usually what I'll do is... will chop into the building right around here. I'm thinking he's a newbie. I'm trying to get in here and access the nodes without startling the zombies. This is what I'm trying to do. To get in here and grab these without waking anybody up. I think he's just going to walk in the entrance and fight what's in there, though. So, maybe he'll die. Who knows?
Find out next time who will die next.
Working Stiff is their hardware store. It is a... you will usually see dogs in here. Yeah, he just came in. Half the time these workbenches are functional and you can use them to make things. The other half of the time they're broken. I usually rely on making my own. Yeah, somebody's already looted all these. And he's gonna run upstairs and die. When he runs into the sleepers up here. Anyway, what I look for typically when I'm trying to pick my base, typically what I'm looking for is 2 or 3 towns that are close together with a water source nearby. I like to build my own base. Sometimes I will build a subterranean base where I'll just chisel straight down. Yeah, this guy's new. Strolling in here. That's functional. But we're heading into nighttime, so... And there's another hardware store. But, oh, and these gas barrels, you can pick them up and use them for... you can pick them up and use them, turn them into gas cans for your equipment, or you can use them for explosives. They do more damage to people than they do blocks. But this is kind of a small town. If this was by itself, I would probably keep walking. I might, get to a point where I fill my inventory. I might pick a little shed and carve out a space to basically just drop a chest so I can sort through what I'm going to, pick up when I'm not. But I take a tour of the city real quick and I look for kind of large buildings. I ideally want, at least a bookstore like this huge one. I at least want a bookstore and I want a bookstore and at least the hardware store. So that's primarily what I'm looking for. Seeing some desert out here, that's a good sign. This is yucca. It is a very useful thing to carry around for food. This is the aloe plant. You pick up 4 of those, you could turn it into bandages. That's a mineral vein. Then we're entering a biome where there's been a forest fire. You're going to encounter different zombies there, different there's a percentile chance that when you walk on it, you'll catch on fire. If you're to a point where you're making cement, this is a fantastic resource here with the desert, because as you dig, you'll find stones and sand. See the crushed sand? And the stones, they're some of the bigger things you're looking for to make your cement with in your mixer. So that's just a quick little snippet here on why this guy is insisting on me helping him. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I'll talk to you all later. Again, this is Tampa from Zedsl, and come on out and visit us.